social networks are basically one thing. They are an online community of members who connect and share with each other. It's very much like a club. Once you are a member, you can join the meetings of the club. And once you join the meetings of the club, you get to know other people in the club and you can connect with them and you can share experiences with each other, depending on how the club is organized and how it works. So social networks appeal to a really basic human need to connect with other people, and they do some really good things there. That's the first step in using a social network. They give people the ability to connect with each other electronically through the social network. And you can connect with people, and you can also connect with brands and businesses and organizations. And then people and these organizations can share things on the social network. They make money, and they make money through giving you a free membership that attracts people to it. Okay, Facebook doesn't cost anything to join. X, Twitter doesn't cost anything to get an account. LinkedIn, they're all free. And the idea is that we're going to get a lot of people to join us. And, we'll talk about how you join. And once all these people have joined the social network, the ability is there for the social network to charge advertisers to reach their members. So if you want to market yourself to this membership community that has millions and billions of people in some cases, you might have to pay to reach the people you want to reach on that network. And Meta is one of the biggest advertisers in terms of collecting advertising revenue on the internet. How do you join? You create what's called an account, and you could use your email address and create a password. So immediately when you join a social network now has the ability to communicate with you through email. They know a little bit about you. Okay, they know how to communicate with you. And the social networks sometimes will send out emails to you directly, but they don't let other people see your email. Some social networks work based on your cellular phone number. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram let you use your cellular phone number to create your account as well. So joining is a matter of creating an account just like you'd create accounts most everywhere. And then there's one last thing you have to do when you join. You have to accept the terms of use. And usually we all read those because they're just so fascinating to read, right? Well, we just usually click, okay, if you want to use it, you got to accept the terms of use. Sometimes you'll get a confirmation email saying, we're going to send you an email and your account is not active until you click that email. That's to make sure it's a real person as opposed to a bot, an automated bot that's setting up an account. So what are the terms of use? Okay. This is my legal advisor here that helped me out with this. It means you agree to follow their policies, whatever they are. I mean, they may have restrictions on what kind of content you can post, what you can say, language you can use, other things. And this is where there's a lot of political discussion about what these social networks let people do. Okay, they really, really say, okay, what are the policies? You agree to let them track your activity, not only on the social network, but they've usually given you a cookie that lets them track you on web browsers when you browse other locations on the internet. You agree to make certain things public. Facebook, even with tremendously private settings, your profile image and your name is public, and anybody can find you using that on Facebook. They may not be able to reach out to you, contact you, see anything else you've done, but at a minimum, that information is public. And you own the copyright to anything you decide to publish on your social network account, but they can use it to make money for themselves. They don't sell it, but they can make it distributable if you allow them with privacy settings to do that. And they can make money from the tracking activity that you've let them do as well. So they're in the business of making money. Your profile can vary. Okay, it can be short or long. A profile picture, they ask you to do that. You create a profile name. They might ask you for a short biography, and they might ask you for anything else. And sometimes you can share this, like I say, your profile picture and your profile name on Facebook are public, but sometimes you can choose your privacy settings for all of these other aspects of information and choose to share it just with friends or with a few friends or with no one, or make it public if you choose to. So you have the ability to do that. On other social networks like Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, your profile and most of your information is public. They tend to be very public networks. So a strategy for thinking about social networks is to think about them as not being all that private. Being careful about what you share is a valuable tool if you don't want to worry about. And you don't have to join a social network, but you may feel pressure. You may feel people that are encouraging you to do it so that they can connect with you. Facebook and LinkedIn have a private type of connection. On Facebook, as a person, you connect with other people by inviting them to be a friend or by accepting their friend invitation. LinkedIn has a different term they use. They call it a connection. You have to be invited to connect with people, or you invite someone to connect with you. And it's a little more of a business to business networking. So people's resumes or curriculum vitae is what people publish on LinkedIn. And that generally is something people are okay with being more public than the information they might share on Facebook. With Facebook, if you're a friend with someone else, you share information with them. They can see information you share with your friends. You can see information they share with their friends. Friends are a common connection, and all friends are created equal. So if you don't see something from somebody for a while on Facebook, but you're their friend, you can go visit their page on Facebook and see what they've been up to, because it's still visible to you as a friend. Other accounts are a little bit different, but you typically have maybe heard the term follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube. What that means is it's like bookmarking a web page in your web browser. You're making a record of, okay, I'm gonna keep track of this user and be able to find them easier when I go look for them, because there'll be a list in my account, and you'll get some updates from them. Not everything, but some updates from them, because social networks do not let brands push so much content out to the people that follow or like them. On Facebook, the term is called like. It means the same thing as a follow. The other thing that's really popular on social networks are groups. And Facebook and LinkedIn are the two big users of groups. I belong to a couple of groups in my local neighborhood community. I belong to some groups on LinkedIn for industry professionals. They can be public, where anybody can see the information and join, or they can be private by invitation only. And so that only people that are members of the groups can see the information. Some of you may belong to groups, some of you may not. So these social networks are just giving people a lot of ways to connect with each other. You can find things that you want to follow, like if you like a movie or a character or a celebrity or a personality, you can follow them or like them. You can join groups of other people that are interested in similar types of things. But even as a personal user, if you post something in your updates, your friends have the ability to like and comment on it and share it, but it only gets shared within the circle of friends you chose to share it with. But on Twitter and Instagram and other things, it's a little more public. So what is shared? Okay, so there's different types of content that people share. All right, so text, obviously, written content, you can write something. Some social network sites like Twitter limit the amount of text you can share, but you can link outside of Twitter. And Facebook, you can share some fairly long posts. They all let you share photos. They all pretty much let you share videos, but some are more video focused than others. TikTok and Instagram, and obviously YouTube, they're all very video. And the impression that marketers are getting and people are getting is people really love video. They like watching a lot of video, which is one of the reasons why people are spending time on this. Your location could be shared. Now, your location could be shared with the social network, even though you haven't used a location sharing button to let your friends or people know what it is. Your likes are shared with the social network and usually are public, and who you follow. Your comments, if you make comments on a public page like In-N-Out Burger or Tim Hortons, your comment will be public, even if everything else in your account is private. And your profile can be shared. So a lot of information is shared. The social network's collecting all of this. They're just a big scoop that's collecting all of this information about what we do and how we do it, how often we're doing it.
It's not fair to compare In-N-Out Burger to Tim Hortons.
Well, I was just using two contrasting examples. How's that? Okay. What happens with all of this stuff? When you log into a social network, you see what is referred to as the feed, and Facebook calls their particular feed the news feed. Basically, what they are doing is they are assembling an electronic web page or an electronic screen on your app that pulls in information from all over their social network, and they are choosing what they think is most important to you and what's going to keep you coming back over and over again to see what's new some other day. And this feed is really important. So there's some information on the left for navigation, and there's right navigation. You'll always see the opportunity to share something on your own. But this area right here, this news feed area, is what Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and other social networks are using to present fresh information that based on the connections you have, and they're pulling that information in to do it. And so they decide what should go in there. They determine what goes in there because it's their social network. And so what shows up? Things from your friends are typically going to be the first thing you see because they know 50% of people roughly is what people, they use social networks to keep up to date with their contacts and friends. The next thing is they're bored, right? But things from friends are really important. You'll see ads show up. This is where the advertiser has paid. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, they want to have an ad show up in the newsfeed as people scroll through it. It looks very much like a post from a friend, only it will say sponsored. You might see some posts from pages you like. You'll typically see some group activity, and you'll see friend activity. When people like or share or comment on something, you'll see that in your newsfeed. And all of this thing that goes in the newsfeed is what their software creates. And it's individual for every single user on social media. There are no two news feeds that look the same. We all have different connections on our social network. What shows up in our news feed is going to look entirely different from anybody else's. Unless there's an advertiser that's trying to reach all of us based on a similar demographic characteristic. And then we might all see that ad. So this is the most valuable piece of content of a social network because they want to make sure that when you go to your news feed, you're going to like what you see so much that even if you leave Facebook as an example, and you go off and say, I'm going to go watch a movie, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to make a phone call, you're going to want to come back to see what else is happening before too long. You'll see an update from a friend here in your news feed. You'll see some individual items. You'll see some ads here, and you'll see navigation on the left. And in the mobile app, it just looks a little bit tighter is all. That's all it looks like. So you're going to look and see it, but this will change in 20 minutes. It'll be different. Bye-bye.